move on and ask Sanjay to describe himself on his door right there and what's going on.
So I have a little thought experiment that I'd like to ask you to do, which is, here's a question. Why do car companies, rental companies like Avis, why are all the cars together at the airport? Why do they have these gigantic parking lots with hundreds of cars, right? Why? Why put them together like that? Yeah, Jasper. Yeah, people arrive there. But why not put them in the city? Why not have 5? Yeah, control. I would argue it's because of the keys. Someone's going to give you the keys. So you want one place where you can collect the keys and return the keys, and someone will go check the mileage. And so they put them together so that they can put that staff, the 2 or 3 people together. And the airport's as good a place as any, because that's where folks without cars arrive, right? But the moment the key could go electronic, the moment you could check the fuel electronically, what happened? The Zipcar happened. What did Zipcar do? What Zipcar did was, it said, people don't want to go to the airport. You know, if you're a single, a young person living in Cambridge, you don't own a car, but you need a car occasionally to go to IKEA or to go to grocery store. You want it right across the street. That was enabled. The fragmentation of the car rental agency into thousands of locations was enabled by IoT. So when people say, what's IoT? Is it a technology? Is it a platform? Can I buy IoT? Is it a religion? Can I sign up? Is it a blood oath? We struggled with this. And the conclusion we came to was IoT is not a technology. It's not a platform. It is a design language. Right? So the basic idea is it is a design language for taking businesses, taking product-oriented businesses, where the customer is to bend over backwards to use the product and redefine the business in a way that the business inverts itself and wraps itself around the customer and gives the consumer, gives the user what they want.
So let's talk about the Nest versus Honeywell.
So the Nest versus Honeywell, right? It's actually the picture in the previous slide. If you go back to the previous slide, smoke alarms. I've literally had to do that to turn the damn smoke alarm off, right? Just connect it to the phone. And the way you could do that was IoT. And the thermostat, which is the next slide, which is the Nest versus Honeywell, of course, is a classic example, right? Which is when you connect something up, when you can use IoT as a design language, you can fundamentally reinvent a business. So, in summary, in our view, IoT is a design language. We'll talk about the vocabulary for reinventing a business to invert it from a product mindset to the mindset of providing a better experience for the customer.
And by definition, it's a paradigm shift. It's when needs and experiences drive what the product ultimately or the offering is going to be. So think about yourselves and your experience with Uber, Airbnb, where every action you take is actually developing things in the product. It is changing, as opposed to hardwiring and producing a fixed asset to sell to the market. So that's what the definition is. And this is what Sanjay is talking about. For decades in technology, we would sit around and wait for a company to come out and tell us what the new product is. Then we would line up to go get it. And we were bending over to try to understand and adapt to the product, whereas now companies are trying to adapt and understand. And there's a really good example, mattress. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so, actually, Theodore Levitt, a professor at HBS, said about 40 years ago, he said, when you sell a drill, are you selling a drill or are you selling a hole? Because people don't want drills, they actually want holes. And so similarly, if you're a mattress company, do you sell a mattress or do you enable sleep? Right? So what's the sleep experience? The sleep experience is, if you want to invert it, I need to sleep. Well, if I'm tossing and turning, I'd like a report on it. And if I'm in REM sleep, I'd like the alarm, the mattress to tell the alarm to shut up and let the poor guy sleep a little bit more. Right? And maybe if I get up in the night, I want the lights to come on so I don't stub my toe. That is how you think about the world in an IoT with this new design language. And by the way, if you think that's outlandish, there are now 2 or 3 companies that do this. I think there's a mattress company called Sleep 8, and they're doing very well. So this is a fundamental rethinking of a product into an inverted mindset.
Now, many of the newer companies, organically and ground up, were designed this way. Airbnb, Uber, Amazon for the most part, right? So when we wrote the inversion factor, we wanted to really focus. Our passion is to help traditional companies, which is about 99% of the industry, employing tens of millions of people, right? That are at this juncture needing to change. So what we're talking about are not necessarily those companies that already get it and are doing it right. But the thing we want to start getting you to think is if Zipcar had the idea and it could do it, why couldn't GM do it, right? Why wasn't inversion introduced first by a car company? Why are technologies today introduced by startups and not by businesses that are the core owners? So there's a shift going from product, building static products, to needs-based, to experience-based that we want to explore. And there's one thing that's very important. In the new paradigm, in inversion, vision is extremely important. Traditional companies tend to have extraordinary CEOs that run really good P&Ls, that know how to manage tens of thousands of people, that are necessarily not the ones who are going to decide what's my absolutely new product that has nothing to do with many of my other products, right? So vision becomes a key driver for us.